Fellow Southern Cameroonians, greetings. My name is Tapang Ivo Tanku, and I'm here to address some key pertinent issues related to our struggle. So far, we've been able to ground down an entire regime, holding down an autocratic rule and pushing it to the brink of a failure. We've been able to show ourselves as being resistant, having the ability to show resolve, and having the force to do as we please. We've been able to show that we can resist the colonial rule and pull ourselves back from slavery. We've been able to show that freedom is near and it is just a matter of time to grab the freedom. Our peoples of Southern Cameroons have suffered a lot, and whether you live on Southern Cameroon soil or on La Republique soil, as long as you are a Southern Cameroonian, you are not free. You are a conditional prisoner. It doesn't matter whether you are in Kondengi or not, you are still a conditional prisoner. We have to free every Southern Cameroonian from bondage, be they federalist or independence advocates. We have to free every Southern Cameroonian from bondage under colonial and autocratic rule. Mancho Bibixi on the 7th of June 2017 passed a very strong and disturbing message to every Southern Cameroonian. He said, we have to fight to the end. Our leaders in jail have to be empowered somehow, and we have the ability to empower them now. We have to stop whatever we are doing in the diaspora, be it fighting for leadership or political issues or whatever, and refocus on the ground to liberate those in jail, to liberate those out of jail, and to liberate ourselves even abroad. How do we do this? First, we have to empower the leadership in jail, giving ghost towns Mancho ghost towns, giving ghost towns Bala ghost towns, giving ghost towns Fontem ghost towns, or giving ghost towns Ayapor ghost towns, and the list continues. We have to make sure that we give them that power, because every single Southern Cameroonian, whether you're in what group or whether you're fighting as an individual, you identify and you sympathize with those back home. Therefore, the focus has to go back home. We have to do that to liberate ourselves. Second, we have to make sure our key messages are appealing and speak directly to those on the ground. Whatever we say, if it has an indirect impact, then it has no impact. We have to stop sabotage, because as long as we keep sabotaging ourselves and it doesn't hurt your enemy, therefore you are doing the wrong thing. Whatever we do should hurt our adversary. If we are doing things that keep hurting us and not our adversary, therefore we are doing the wrong thing. All the leaders of all the groups have to come together, warn their followers, whoever, and push forth an agenda that has to be unifying and not filled with demonization, vilification, sabotage, backstabbing, blackmailing, and all of those. This is not time for politicking, and this is time for freedom. Thirdly, we have to make sure that we intensify our winning strategies. As it is always said, you don't change a winning team and you don't change your winning strategy. We have to enforce the winning strategies and we have to mobilize our winning teams. Therefore, this is the best way to do it. Ghost towns increases from one day to perhaps 2 or 3 days within a week. Whatever day we choose have to be very effective. It is not only by talking that ghost towns have increased, it is by pushing forth ground action that has to intensify those ghost towns. Whatever we do abroad, if it has an indirect impact back home, then it is not necessary at the moment. Whatever we do must have a direct impact on the ground. We have to make sure the colonial governors suffer a lot. The colonial DOs and SDOs suffer a lot. And all the MPs that have vaguely represented us again in the parliament, their homes or whatever have to suffer, as someone once said. Of course, it is the right time for us to take massive actions towards destruction of colonial vestiges. Those colonial vestiges and dictatorial vestiges do not appeal to us at all. Like the ANC, we have to push for meaningful dialogue or whatever through public destruction. It is a domestic affair and no one, be it the international community, cannot intervene, because whatever we are doing, we are pushing for pro-democracy. We want to live from an autocratic rule to a democratic rule. We want to live from a rule of self-rule to a rule of collective rule. We want to live from a rule of single security to collective security. We want to live from a rule of lack of freedom or slavery to freedom. We want to live from a rule of lack of the rule of law to the rule of law. All of these actions are embedded in our strategies, and we have to succeed. In the past few months, we've been begging the colonial regime to hold us to dialogue or some kind of meaningful dialogue. But at this point, the colonial regime has proven very tough and very, very tough. We saw that on the 7th of June, 2017, increasing or adjourning the cases of innocent Southern Cameroonians over and over. It is time for us to tell every Southern Cameroonian that you have to make the change you want to see. It is not a matter of groups that will make these changes. It is you to make that change. It is me to make that change before we come together as a group to make a collective change. Whatever you can do at the moment, do not buck pass. Do it before asking someone to help you. We are all rich in the diaspora somehow, and we can afford at least 5,000 francs to send back home to someone you know can do something for you. People back home need that money to do something. You know what I'm talking about. We don't have to rely so much on groups if you don't trust groups. And if you want to keep bickering or beating your heads up and down about groups and whether they are focused or not, you have to focus being yourself. Be that one-man commando. That is the secret to this struggle. Be that person who has to make that change. Don't ask what groups have done for you. Ask what you have done to liberate your people. Let me ask what I, Tapang Ivo Tanku, General Ivo, has done to liberate my peoples of Southern Cameroons. We can make that change. Bala needs us. Fontem needs us. Mancho Bibixi needs us. Ayapola Bina needs us. Everyone needs us. We are free, but the people back home are not free. So therefore, we have to increase ghost towns, the number of ghost towns or the numbers of days of ghost towns. We have to increase them. We have to enforce strategies on the ground and not abroad, on the ground. We have to empower leadership on the ground. Empower those citizens on the ground and not empower those citizens abroad. We have to make sure all our efforts are redirected, are streamlined to focus on the ground and appeal to those who are suffering on the ground. Be they conditional or not conditional, they are all conditional citizens. We have to free ourselves once more, fellow Southern Cameroonians, and we have to stand strong as one. My name is Tapang Ivo Tanku. Thanks for watching.